welcome to the first episode of the Unown Origins podcast. I am one of your hosts, DevBrev. You may know me from YouTube at DevBrev, and this is my co-host. Ben, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Ben Spence. I am going to be starting some social media things here soon, so look for Discjockeymonkeyboys coming at you.
Ben is my best friend in the whole world. That's how we know each other. We love Pokemon. I think Ben likes Pokemon more than I do.
Maybe a little bit. I mean, I've been playing the game since I was, 5 years old. Watching the anime probably just about as long, so.
But why am I talking about Pokemon? Of course, we have the things in front. We have my shirt. But this podcast, we are going to be going and we are going to be looking at the Pokemon anime, starting from Indigo League, going all the way to the new stuff. What's it called? Like Journeys or something?
Journeys, yeah.
Journeys, yes. What we did was we both took a look at the first episode of Pokemon Indigo League, I Choose You, and Ben totally looked at it 10 minutes ago.
Definitely not right as we were setting this up.
I asked this man one thing, and he didn't do it. But he put that thing on double speed, we're all good.
Yep.
So, episode 1, I Choose You of Indigo League came out on April 1st, 1997 in Japanese, and September 8th, 1998 in English. It's like kind of an anniversary for it.
Almost, yeah. We're getting real close there.
Well, we kind of passed it a little bit because April for the Japanese version.
That's true.
That would be the original date. So, when you first boot up the episode, the first thing that happens is the theme song. And on my channel, I always like to ask, how's the OP? So, Ben, do you want to answer the question, how's the OP?
I personally have so much emotional connection to the OP. I can't think of a better opening theme for any anime. So that's my 10 out of 10, but that's just me.
Yes, the English Pokemon anime opening is probably the most iconic anime English opening ever.
Yeah, it's easily the most recognizable, if nothing else.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know anybody who doesn't know what that is.
The only thing that I would accept an argument from would be the Digimon opening.
That's true. Digimon was also really popular around the same time.
Yeah.
That does make sense.
Yeah. But Pokemon definitely the most iconic.
They are the #1 franchise, in existence.
True, yeah.
It does make sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So, the first scene in the anime, I have to say, this is probably the best thing the anime has ever done, and it was the literal first scene. What I'm talking about is when you first start up the episode, so when you play Red and Blue, the first thing that you see is this cutscene of a Gengar and a Nidorino, having a Pokemon battle. And then when you watch the episode of the anime, the first thing you see is the same cutscene of the Gengar and the Nidorino. And it's not just in the anime style. It is in the style of, the Game Boy pixel art.
Yes. And then they kind of transition it to the anime, which is really cool. I mean, I know in some of the newer stuff, I think it's Pokemon Origins, I do believe, is one of the, short series. They do a similar thing, and
Origin shout-out?
Yeah, Origin shout-out. They do a similar thing, and they kind of transition it into the art style of the show. And I love that they're kind of bringing that back and they're paying homage to that first episode. Because, it's where it all started out.
Yeah, and that was I believe that came out in 2016 for Pokemon 20.
It did, yes.
And so that was a nostalgia thing. But this is just we're making an anime based off of a video game franchise. So of course we're going to incorporate the video game into the thing. And as Pokemon has kind of gone on and the anime has sort of blossomed into its new thing, you kind of lose that video game incorporation.
You do, yeah. It's kind of two different stories at this point. I have a theory that they're gonna kind of try and tie it back in a little bit with the new Pokemon Z to A coming out.
Pokemon Za.
Za, if you will. But yeah, I really strongly believe that they are going to try and tie that back to the anime more, which is part of the reason why I wanted to do this with you and get more familiar with the older stuff to, see where it came from, what we can do with it.
Right. So that's not all that I wanted to talk about with that first scene. In that first scene, we see this silhouette of a trainer that I believe is Bruno of the Elite Four.
It looks a lot like him. If it's not him, that's definitely what he was based on.
So, if that's Bruno, then would he be battling Agatha? Was Agatha the Ghost Elite Four member?
Agatha was the Ghost Elite Four member. It would make sense. A lot of people think that initial battle with the Nidorino and the Gengar is actually Professor Oak and Agatha. because it's mentioned in the games they have a history together. And
If that was Professor Oak in the opening, that's a buff Professor Oak.
That's fair. That's the silhouette is like the next trainer, I think. So it's like there's a battle between Gengar and Nidorino, and then there's like the Gengar and an Onix next. I don't know if it's like a tournament style where they're fighting different trainers.
Right.
Or what, but a lot of people assume that is Oak fighting Agatha. She does mention that they have a past together too, so whether that be romantic or not, who...
Yeah. Okay. Also in that scene, we see a green Pokeball.
Yeah! That's like...
Pokeballs aren't green, they're red. You can see on Lily there.
It almost looks like a friend ball, but like not
almost.
Quite, it doesn't have like the red...
Yeah, or like the Safari Ball, or like I think a Lure Ball is like close to that color.
Similar.
It's like a teal.
Yeah.
But like, imagine if the Pokeball maker in Johto, if you bring him like an Apricorn, and he's like, here's your Pokeball. Oh, what does this one do? It's just green.
It's just green.
It's just green. Because it was like the exact green color as like the Apricorns.
They did that so much in the old anime. They just had random, if you look at actually later on in this episode, the starters have like inscriptions on them too.
Oh, yeah!
They just throw in random Pokeballs like that. And that's never been like I guess it was kind of a thing in Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah, they love the little like stickers you put on.
The capsules and the stickers and stuff, but it's never been a thing to like fully customize them like that though. So it'd be weird to have that integrated, but it'd be kind of cool.
Okay, so we've spent way too long talking about the literal first scene. It hasn't been like 5 minutes of the episode. When we spent like 20 minutes just talking about the first 2 minutes. So now we get into the iconic stuff of the first episode. Ash getting up late.
Yep.
Iconic.
Of course.
Like, without even like watching this episode, you just kind of know that Ash gets up late to get that Pokemon.
Of course. Something had to happen. Something had to throw a wrench in there. I mean, it's the easiest way to kind of put you in a state of limbo, like, oh, what's going to go...
Give that conflict, right. And so, Ash now has to hurry up to get his Pokemon from Professor Oak. And outside, we see Gary Mother Flippin' Oak. Gary was on screen for about 10 seconds. And he already got so annoying.
Yeah, he just that snarky attitude. And
his voice is so annoying.
It is.
It's like so grating. He sucks.
And I don't understand why he has like such a fan club like following around him too.
He has so full cheerleaders.
This is in the games at least. There are 3 houses in this town, and there are at least 40 people there standing around cheering for... Like, why?
Where do they come from?
Exactly.
Where do they come from? So, I have, like, a question for you. You might know this answer. Do we ever find out who gets which starter between Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur?
As far as I'm aware, they don't really. I know, obviously, later on in the series, Ash gets both Squirtle and Bulbasaur.
And Charmander eventually.
There are also significant trainers that have them all, but I don't think it's ever decided like who actually got those 3 from Oak, which is interesting.
Yeah, because in the manga and also Origins, which we mentioned briefly before, in Origins, Red gets Charmander and Blue gets Bulbasaur or Squirtle. Makes sense. Their colors go together. But in the manga, in Pokemon Adventures, it's a little odd because Red gets Bulbasaur, Blue gets Charmander, and Green gets Squirtle.
Yeah.
Kind of like mixing them up randomly.
Very, very odd. It doesn't quite make sense, but it does, I guess, if you think about it. Because in the games, I mean, your rival always has the type that's better against you. So I guess they were trying to do something along those lines.
Yeah, and then they just like moved them around a little bit for some odd reason. Yeah. Weird thing I saw in this scene, Ash picks Squirtle first?
Yeah. I mean, in his dream, he mentioned he wanted to start with Bulbasaur.
And then he runs to the thing, and he's like, all right, my first pick is Squirtle! And then Oak's like, I'm sorry, there's no Squirtle.
Very, very odd that that's his first choice. I mean...
And then he goes to Bulbasaur, and then he goes to Charmander. Okay, so, mentioning the Pokemon Adventures manga, when do you think that Pikachu became the mascot? Because the only reason why we have to do the whole Ash shows up late and that he can't get one of the 3 starters is because we have to engineer a way where Ash can get a Pikachu right off the gate.
Right. Which, it's a good way to do it, don't get me wrong. It's hard to kind of choose one specific moment where that transition's over because obviously the manga has Clefairy as kind of the center point there for a minute, and then it transitions over to Pikachu.
And
eventually.
Red also very early on gets a Pikachu. Like, it's
Right,
the third
right.
Pokemon, or it's the first Pokemon he catches. He starts with a Poliwhirl, weirdly enough.
Yeah, that also doesn't...
Like, he starts with a Poliwhirl, he gets a Bulbasaur from Oak, and then he catches a Pikachu, which has a similar personality to the Pikachu in the anime.
It's kind of hesitant to... Yeah.
So it makes a lot of sense that they're using both the games and the manga as sort of a blueprint, and then building off of that for the anime.
Oh, yeah. It kind of ties all of the different fandoms together, if you will. It makes sense. It really...
So it makes sense that they're picking Pikachu here because he's already the mascot. So at some point between 1997 and 1998, they decided Pikachu's the mascot of the franchise. And he would remain that for the next nearly 30 years.
Oh, God. Yeah. It is almost 30 years since that came out. That's crazy.
Well, since Red and Blue came out.
Yeah.
Speaking of Pikachu, Pikachu is a Biridere, which is in my neck of the woods, so Ben's gonna shut up and I'm just gonna talk for a bit. There is a very common trope in anime called the tsundere. You've probably been familiar with them before. Tsundere are characters who are very brash, they're very it's not like I like you or anything, and then sometimes they're physically violent or verbally abusive. Now, Pikachu is this to a T. He does not like Ash at the beginning of the series at all. And Pikachu literally multiple times will be like, P! That is exactly what tsundere do. And Pikachu is violent towards Ash, but he is violent with him specifically with lightning, which is what the Biridere is. Biri in Japanese means electricity, or it's the onomatopoeia of electricity. I don't know. I made a video about it. Hey, maybe you should look at that video after we're done with this. But it is the onomatopoeia for electricity, and so it is electricity, love, Biridere. So Pikachu's a Biridere.
It's also funny to think about how Pikachu is verbally abusive to Ash, while the only words he can say is Pikachu. I just find that really amusing, but you're not wrong at all.
Pika. What you call my mother?
Right.
But seeing Pikachu in this way really makes me appreciate what we see way later down in the series.
Yes.
Because they are the bestest of friends.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, even as soon as, the first movie, that is totally flipped. I mean, there's no more ill will at all between the two of them. There's actually a lot of kind of similarities between... in the first movie, there's a very emotional scene, which most people, I'm sure, have seen by now. I would hope so. Spoilers if you haven't.
Spoilers for a 25-plus-year-old movie.
Ash dies. He turns to stone for a minute, and the tears of Pikachu and the clones that Mewtwo have made bring him back to life. And in just that little scene alone, there are a lot of similarities between the scene where he is protecting Pikachu from the Spearow and the scene where Ash dies. It's very, it's almost one-to-one there for a second, though. It's really cool to, again, see them pay homage to that.
Nice transition, Ben, because the next thing that happens after Ash gets his Pikachu and they fight for a little bit is Ash attempts to catch a Pidgey.
Yeah. Attempts.
He does it without the help of Pikachu, and Ash goes full Safari Zone on this Pidgey. He's like, rock, go!
Yep.
And the rock does not work, and Ash ends up hitting a Spearow on accident. And after this, the Spearow attack Ash profusely.
Yeah.
All the while, Dexter, the Pokédex name is Dexter, right?
I think so.
Okay. All the while, the Pokédex is just berating Ash with annoying exposition.
There's a whole little spot there where only stupid trainers get their stuff stolen by Rattata. I don't remember exactly
This
what
is
it says, but it's berating him. It's crazy.
This is the sassiest machine of all time.
And I love that later on in the series they give it more and more personality. They even give it a Rotom.
Yeah, a full Pokemon.
Yeah.
Is the Rotom sassy too?
Of course. It's great. I think Team Rockets is also equally as sassy in the Alolan anime, and it's wonderful. It's hilarious to watch.
So Ash is running from the Spearow, and he runs into Misty!
Yay,
Misty! She doesn't play a huge factor in this episode, but Ash does steal her bike.
Yep.
And Ash promises to give it back or return it.
Return it
eventually.
eventually.
Yeah.
That doesn't
happen. The bike
30
kind of
years
gets
later.
trashed.
Yeah.
Because of the Sparrow.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, rain. Like it is
Yeah,
so clear.
out of nowhere.
And then just rain.
Maybe it's the thunder and lightning is drawn to the Pikachu. That's my headcanon at least.
Also,
I
like,
don't think that's right at all. But.
Yeah, no. I mean, Rain Dance is like a move.
True. Maybe somebody far away used it and it just.
Can Pikachu learn Rain Dance?
I don't think so.
That wouldn't make any sense.
No. Yeah.
As they are hounded by the Spearow, Ash decides to sacrifice himself to save Pikachu, and then Pikachu jumps up, hits the biggest Thunderbolt ever. In fact, this Thunderbolt is so big that it stops the rain entirely.
Because that's how it works, apparently.
Well, all the Thunderbolt is stored in the Thunderclouds, and then Pikachu called upon the power, and that's why the Thunderbolt was so big.
Yeah. I mean, it in theory
it
makes sense why it's so big.
Sucked all the energy and just dropped it. Dropped it on the Spearow.
Yeah, he really did. He went all out.
And then the grand finale of this episode is, of course, Ho-Oh.
Yes.
Ben, do you want to take it away about Ho-Oh?
It is so cool to see that, because obviously they weren't, that wasn't a thing. That wasn't the thing of the games yet. This is still a couple years before Gold and Silver.
Gold and Silver came out in '99 in Japan.
Yeah. So this is, well before that. It's cool to think that, like, even as far back as that first episode, they were still thinking about the future. How
they were fully developing those games.
Yeah.
Like, you have to believe that they were.
Yeah, definitely. There's no way they weren't at that point. But because that appears, and honestly, the way it appears, it's not colored quite like the same as it is now. I think, honestly, some of that coloration had a little bit of influence in the shiny form eventually. I know shinies were more predetermined back then. I still don't know that that's entirely true, because there are some that are kind of cherry-picked and look a little better.
I never really read that as, like, Ho-Oh's, like, full color. I always read it as, like, his aura. I kind of hate that word now. I hate that I'm using it. But, like, it's the only, like, word I can use to describe it.
But it makes sense. And aura is brought up a lot later on in the series, but it could...
Lucario.
Yeah, exactly. Aura Sphere. But it would make sense. I mean, that is a legendary Pokemon. That is the biggest thing that exists in that time. I mean,
it also is the cover legendary for a game called Pokemon Gold.
Yeah, it is. That's true. It has that gold aura around it.
Even though it itself is orange.
Yeah, it is.
Pokemon Orange and White coming soon.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of have already gotten. I mean, we had Pokemon White.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Scarlet is like almost orange.
Okay, we're getting to the weeds here. We're getting to the weeds. We're talking about color theory now.
Right.
And then, of course, every episode of Pokemon has to end with the Pokerap, which I have always been embarrassed that I do not know in its entirety.
I don't either. If I hear like pieces and parts of it, I can kind of like, all right, yeah, I know what comes
Electro,
next.
Diglett, Nidoran, Minky, Kabuto, Fearow, something Pidgey.
Yep.
I was kind of cooking when it was playing.
Yeah.
But how Pokemon works is that at the end of every episode, they will play a portion of the Pokerap. They split it into like fifths.
Yeah.
Because as they dropped in the episode, Pokemon aired Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
Like it just ran like every weekday.
I think so. I mean, I was obviously
not alive.
around.
Yeah, we were both not alive when Indigo League was airing.
2000 baby. But no, I wasn't around that, so I always caught the reruns of it. But
and they did do that with it too, right?
Yeah.
I know in Boomerang they were doing like Monday through Fridays.
I don't think
Maybe, I don't know, am I making stuff up?
You might be. I don't know. I don't know well enough to tell you otherwise, so we'll go with it.
But yeah, that was just like a weird thing to me, because I'm used to shows coming out like once a week and not like 5 times a week.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And it's like that now. It just, who knows?
Yeah.
Somebody does, just not us.
Alright, so we have reached the end of this episode of Pokemon, but also the end of our podcast together. Ben, it has been great to chat with you. I can't wait to talk about more Pokemon with you. And before we go, I have a little something for you.
Oh, God. Oh, that's so cool.
Do you want to go ahead and explain what that is for the audio-only listeners?
It's a little keychain that looks like the Game Boy Advance version of Fire Red, and that is amazing.
I got that at a convention this weekend, SakaiCon. Make sure to be there next year.
That's so cool. Thank you so much.
Yep, it is a inaugural podcast episode present.
Thank you. I wish I had something for you too, but
you don't need. I don't need anything. Your presence is good as a present enough. So anyway, check us out next time when we are going to cover. Want to cover more episodes? Episodes 2 through 4.
Sure. Yeah.
Episodes 2 through 4 of the Indigo League. Make sure to do your homework, just like this guy, so that you can be up to date. Remember to follow me at DevBrev on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok.
All that fun stuff. And I will be Discjockeymonkeyboys on soon-to-be Facebook, Instagram, most likely YouTube as well. So we'll get there eventually.
Right. And until next time, trainers, gotta watch 'em all.